Welcome to another Mask Monday. Felt like a gypsy there for a second. Ooh, I've got so much freaking hair. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. So, when they're freshly washed, they seem to be like everywhere. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all get that too? So, today I'm doing a mask. This is a honey meal mask from Real Nature. I think I got this one from Renee. But I'm going to put on these Health is Beautiful, a Cure Rejuvenating Eye Mask. And I got these from Jen. Thank you guys so much for the mask. I really need it in my eyes because they're like getting dark. Okay, like I'm still trying to get a hold of the sleep routine, and it's not easy because like life is during the day, and that's when I want to sleep. Okay, so let's go ahead and put it on. So, disclaimer, this video might be triggering because I am talking about, this is my addiction series. I'm going to eventually make a playlist and put them in all the videos, so in case someone wants to watch from part 1. So we do talk about addiction and things that we do in addiction and drugs, and drug use, and other kind of those things, so it's your choice to watch or not to watch. So, but if you stay, I highly appreciate it. I really, really do. I do also appreciate the very nice comments that I get for these videos. Here's the weirdest thing. Tracy didn't know I was doing this. Didn't tell him, and I told him this morning. So he watched all 4 episodes, and he's not really given his opinion yet, but he does think it's pretty well done so far. You can really, when I sat there and watched it with him from the first episode to last week's episode, I can literally see how uncomfortable I was at the beginning, and how much easier it is. And it does get easier to talk about, even though shit does get rougher within the ongoing series. Things actually get easier during the recovery series, which will come after a while. So this is part 5. And last week, oh, this feels so fresh. Great webbing. Check that out. This is an awesome one. I'm not sure if this is one she got from Avon or what, but I don't care. This is great. See how it just sucks to your skin? Kind of like the tomato one. Love it. Love it. The tomato webbing is a little thicker though. But this is really nice. Oh my gosh. And I need it. I fell asleep with my makeup on like you're not supposed to. Anyways. I got a mask video coming up that I'm just going to tribute to my brother. It's going to be aside from the Mask Monday ladies. Just because my brother suggested I get this certain mask, and I went and got it. And it's something a little off the wall. Okay, so we were talking about how I just got out of my second time in rehab. I actually finished the 2 weeks, and I got released. And you know, the first thing we did was celebrate. We put up a tree and everything, and I got some liquor and drank some alcohol. And then, you know, it was kind of like, you know, I didn't drink every night when I first got out. You know, when I got out of that particular rehab, I was not informed over Alcoholics Anonymous or anything. And I wasn't told that, you know, when you want to get clean and sober that you quit everything, like no pot smoking, no drinking, no nothing. They didn't say anything that to me, but I think, and it's okay that it happened the way it is, because everything happens the way it's supposed to. I think that was okay when I look back at it, because I was an American girl who spoke German, and I went to a French rehab, and they probably just didn't know what the fuck to do with me, so it's okay. So you know, we drank the first night, and, you know, another thing I have to say, the leg problems I had through this, it took about 9 months before the pain actually went away. I always had problems with the restless legs. It was horrible. I even had it in my joints, kind of like in my arms, where I always wanted to kind of like, you know, but, and it would always show up at nighttime. I like, right when I'm dead tired and want to sleep. But, so, nonetheless, I didn't realize that it kind of also slowly slipped away because I, you know, was drinking. And we made it like a little thing every night to have some wine, which is no big deal. And once in a while I'd smoke a joint, because I thought, you know, I'm not shooting heroin anymore, so, you know, at least I'm not doing that. So, you know, and I would still do a little bit of cocaine here and there, but at least I'm not shooting dope, you know. I didn't realize that this is a process which is called drug switching. I just thought that, you know, I'm clean because I let go of shooting heroin and all that stuff. So, but, you know, I was too focused on doing what I was doing with the job, being without heroin and all this stuff, that I didn't really have much time or focus on going out and buying marijuana and cocaine. I kind of let that crowd be for their crowd, and for, you know, I had no more connections because I just didn't have to you know, deal with any of these people anymore. Once in a while, I would see at the grocery store someone from the town I used to buy stuff in. Because, you know, just because you buy something in one town doesn't mean you live there. A lot of people lived on the outskirts, and I'd see them at the grocery stores, you know, at a cafe or something. And they were telling me that, you know, I would ask about my friend Igor, which was my best friend, and they would tell me, oh, he's doing fine. You know, he's on polymadone right now, and he's in the program, and he's getting his new set of teeth, which I was like, oh, this is what he looked like. He looked just like Woody Harrelson in Natural Born Killers. Exactly. I even bought him a pair of glasses because he looked so much like him. But anyways, a few years go down the road, and my alcohol has progressed from one bottle, sharing a bottle a night, to having the bottle by myself. And I would also drink some rum. Sometimes I would get like really emotional, but things were like, I would function though. That would be like at 5:30 at night when I, you know, done with everything, work and everything. I'd go and do my drink on, right? But, you know, I'd also still like follow things I wanted to do. I went to a lot of festivals, and I was really into the electronic goth wave kind of thing, EBM music. And I would go to like concerts, and I would save all my money and it costs a lot of money to do that kind of shit. And I also got me a little side job so I could do some extra, you know, buy some extra stuff. And I was taking care of people's houses. I was kind of like house sitting when they weren't home. I'd take care of the mail, their animals, the flowers, you know, make sure lights are turned on and off. If somebody went to the hospital, I'd go bring them what they needed at the hospital, you know, kind of like a little assistant on the side. And I could schedule it for myself. So everything was fine, right? But I started getting really depressed because it's like, I'm still not official. You know, I'm like, my alcohol is getting really worse, but I'm not seeing it like that at this time. I wanted to go back to the United States. So I told my friend, you know, my boss friend, that I am saving my money because I want to go back to the United States. But I didn't have a passport anymore because the Germans took it when they, you know, I caught sleeping at a bus station when they told me I didn't have my visa. And it says something about my recording. Oh, give me a second, Tracy. He was just like, oh, need anything from the store? I was like, bring me a NOS. I had to get my passport, right? So we went, and I got the paperwork and everything. I got the pictures because everything was being changed. Because, you know, of 9/11, everything was changed. You had to have, like, a certain picture taken. You can't wear a certain amount of makeup. You have to have your ears open and all this stuff. So I went and got all that done. And I went up to Frankfurt, and they told me, well, we need your old passport. And I said, well, the German embassy has my passport, and they won't give it back to me because I asked them. And they were like, oh, really? So they got in a little tug-of-war. So it was like the German and the American embassy were fighting about my freaking passport. So I went home, and I had another appointment with them. But lo and behold, shows up my passport. So I'm trying to get a hold of my mom, and a friend of mine he was like, here, I got some stuff of yours. You left a while back at my house. Do you want it? And I was like, well, let me look through it, right? So I looked through the stuff, and there was an address book, and it had my mom's address in it from about 10 years ago, right? So I don't know if she's still there or anything. I haven't talked to my family in, it must be like 14 years. Like, I think my mom was the last one that I had any contact with. So I just go and I write her a letter and say, look, you know, this is my situation and this is kind of what I've been through and I really miss everything. I want to come back home and let's try to work things out with the family. And you know, and she was like, I didn't hear anything for a while. But then all of a sudden I got a letter from her, a really long letter. And then I got the address of my dad, and I wrote my dad, and I wrote my daughter, which was, you know, a teenager, and it was just, it was really, really cool. I was really excited, but so much has changed. They both have gotten married. They've gotten divorced. They both have gotten married. My daughter's grown some. You know, a lot of family dynamics have changed. People's personalities changed throughout the years, you know. I just, you know, I felt almost like I was a stranger, but I didn't want to be. So anyways, they were like, yeah, you can come on home. So, you know, my friend Willie wasn't really having that too much. He was like, no, you got to stay here. I'm old. I don't have any family. What am I going to do? And I'm like, listen, I'm really sorry, but, you know, I have nothing over here. I have to go back over the pond. I have to get my family. And after, you know, a lot of talking and tears, and he finally had acceptance, and he drove me to the Frankfurt airport, which was about 3 hours away. Before I left, though, I had found out that my friend Igor had died. He was in the hospital. He had gotten really sick, something with his chest, and he was still on polymetone because he decided to stay in the polymetone program, kind of like a methadone program. And I was at the store, and my friend told me he died. And she went to visit him at the hospital, and he said to make sure to tell Jessica if you see her that I know she's going to make it, and I love her so much. And this shit tore me apart so bad. I did everything with that guy. We were such good friends, and I mean, you know, it's just something else. And I think that was one of the most profound moments in my addiction when you lose one of your best friends. I have seen a lot of people die like right next to me. You know, I had a girlfriend once, she shot up, someone sold her wallpaper glue as cocaine because it was wallpaper glue. When it was dry, it's powdery and it dissolves, you know. And by the time it went through her veins, it thickened up and she died. But, you know, I've seen some crazy shit, but nothing touched me so much as losing my best friend Igor. But anyways, back to going home. Drove me to Frankfurt and I went home. And I was calling my mom constantly from the airport stops that I was going to. I had such an anxiety. But, you know, I got me some duty store Jack Daniels, and I was drinking on the plane, having a good old time by myself, you know. And when I landed in Charleston, right before I hit Jacksonville, I called her and I said, yeah, I'll be there in about an hour. And she was like, oh, the whole family's here. And I'm like, oh my God, like aunts, cousins, everything I haven't seen for all these years. That was very overwhelming for me. 'Cause to me, they're like strangers. I know they're my family, but I've got a lot of explanation to do. It's like, I don't know what to talk about, you know. And it was pretty short-lived. I showed up, and my mom came and cried and held me with open arms, and they had a big old welcome sign, welcome home, Jessica. And everything was great. So I started living with my mom on St. Simon's, and I didn't realize it until I got in sobriety how ungrateful I was. I did realize I lived with palm trees, beautiful weather, birds chirping. I have accessibility to everything I need to start off a new life. I'm living in, you know, I have a place to live. I got a job right away as housekeeping. Didn't last long. I've had a few different jobs after that. But I straight away got my license. I went to school for my GED. I did all kinds of stuff, you know, that I just neglected throughout the years. And I did it very rapidly. I'm kind of a very mindset person. All along, I was drinking. No one was, you know, I was doing the same old shit. But it was always getting out of hand, right? So I met this guy. He was working for the house, for the house association where my mom lived. He was a tattoo guy, and he had a friend with him. And we had like this big Georgia, Florida party at the beach. And of course, you know, told my mom I might not be home tonight. She's like, oh God, okay. So, you know, I go out and I end up at his house, but I wasn't with him, not with the tattoo guy. I ended up with the other guy. And we hit it off like that. And for, you know, we were a couple. And we were a couple for the next 8 years. Okay, so just keep this in mind. He's a very, very big part of the last part of my bad phase. And he was a really good guy. Like, I'm going to say this throughout, and I'll say this to today. He was a very good guy. Nothing was his fault. For once, I actually had a good picker. I was the bad one. Ooh, Tracy's home with my nose. But anyways, so I decided after a few months of, you know, working and getting myself on path, I was invited to live in with them in a trailer. So I moved out of this beautiful island place to a trailer where there was parties every day, tattoos. I mean, we had all the strippers that worked in the clubs come over late at night, get tattoos and fucked up. And to me, it was just my rock and roll lifestyle. I loved it to death. But the consequences were slowly but surely kicking in. And we'll get into that in next week's video. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked watching. This it regenerated my face so much. Oh, I'm telling you. I've always had a good thing with honey masks. Those honey and oatmeal ones have been like my most favorite. These things, I think they feel so nasty. They're really good for you, but I think they feel so nasty. But the webbing of this is actually a very great mask. Anyways, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Go check out the playlist. There is a hotline number in the description box in case you or someone else has a problem with addiction. And there's a toll-free number. Once you click on that website, it'll give you, and it's confidential. So anyways, hope you guys have a great week, and I love you so much.